pay? Who pay? High power washer. Ooh. Okay. The Eric Zane Show Podcast live stream on Facebook is brought to you by the Mario Flores Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Call them at 231-332-6505. Thinking about buying a house? You need the mortgage, man. Get the mortgage first, then you know like how much house you can buy. You're like, okay, I got this mortgage. I'm pre-approved. This is awesome. Let's go look at the appropriate housing. Okay, and Mario works with everybody, whether you have an impeccable credit score or you're in the dumper or you're a first-time home buyer, not everybody does that. A lot of people who are in the mortgage business are like, oh, shit, I got to deal with this 22-year-old who wants his first mortgage. Oh, great, I don't even know why I bother. Well, Mario's been through that. He's been through the tough times, and he wants to get you through them as well. His desk number is 231-332-6505, and that's like legit. You call it Lakeshore Team, Mario, it's him. It's not like... unless he's talking to another customer making dreams come true, you're going to get Mario. All right. Thank you to the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. There are many, many Van Dyke mortgages in and around the area, all across the country. But I want you to call upon the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, no matter where you are. Could be anywhere. Okay? I don't care if you're in Casper, Wyoming. Just call him anyway. He's a fun guy to talk to. You might not even hire the guy to do your mortgage, but he's just, you've heard him on the show. He's awesome. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Friday the 13th. Ooh.
And now, here's a guy who got tired of being fired by corporate radio. So he took up being fired by Patreon subscribers instead. It's the Eric Zane Show Podcast.
Thank you, Johnny. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show Podcast. Hang on a second. As usual, things are getting out of hand already. The problem is there's all sorts of like cords and shit below the table, and I'm constantly moving and bumping into them, and then the power supply slowly works its way out of various things. So then this isn't exactly the highest tech operation here, but nevertheless, here we are again. A year and 2 months into this thing. Thank you so much for being on board with the Eric Zane Show Podcast. This is a daily show. Well, Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekend, depending on how I feel. Covering news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. Okay? That's what it's all about. You have the free one every single day right here. You have the Patreon where there's more podcasting if that is something you're interested in. So there you go. Now, if you're watching this on Facebook, it's brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid. If you're on Twitter with a Periscope video, the Blue Frost IT Twitter handle at Eric Zane Show, and on YouTube as well. Sponsor soon to be named in that one. And of course, follow me on Instagram as well. Brought to you by the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. If you are on any of those social media platforms, could you like, follow, subscribe, all that stuff to all of those? That is important. So, I'd just like to be out in front of you. I'd like to let you know what is going on. I am a social butterfly. I love the interaction with you. Don't be a stranger. You can email me, eric@ericzaneshow.com. In fact, I got to open up the email. In case any of you have any last-minute things that you want to tell me, I can access it right here. You can send it along, and I can read your thoughts on the podcast if you so desire. eric@ericzaneshow.com. The live element, as I mentioned, the pre-recorded element, on-demand podcast found at ericzaneshow.com or on any of your podcasting platforms. If you could subscribe, rate, and review, that would be nice. Okay, everybody, I want you to do this with me. I want you to inhale. Deep as you can. Keep going. And then one more. Doesn't that feel excellent? Okay, we're not done. I want you to kind of arch your back a little. And I want you to put your hands in the air. Don't wave them like you just don't care. Just plug them into the ceiling. Stretch a little bit. Bring them down to your sides, but still out there. I mean, well, sideways. So you're like the letter T. There you go. It kind of resets you. You ever do that? Just kind of like, I got to do something. I got to get some air going through the lungs. And I do that, and I say, it's going to be okay. Relax. If you are in panic mode, today's a new day. The sun is rising. Temperatures are on the rise. The sun will set, and we will do it again tomorrow. Do not panic. There is a bug going through town. Ah, boy. You remember, like, before the coronavirus thing, you'd go to the doctor and you'd say, they'd say, oh, man, it's going around. It's going around. Everybody's kind of sick here. Ah, boy. You don't have it. Good. All right, here's your physical. Yeah, be careful out there. Whatever. They tell you those things when you go to the doc. It's been so busy. People have been coming in sick left and right. This is just another thing to get you uncomfortable, okay? The flu, God forbid, if your elderly family members get the flu, that's why they want you to get a flu shot. To me, that is the biggest concern about coronavirus. This shouldn't be dismissed. I don't feel that way anymore. I do think that the hysteria is a little bit over the top in terms of the coverage. Maybe I'll get to that a little bit later on. But outside of the elderly, you'd be uncomfortable like you would with any illness. It will run its course, the virus will. I do have a question. If you get it once, do you not get it again? I've been looking for that answer, and I haven't found it. The other question I have is, if you are exposed to it, do you get it, or can your system fight it off before it takes hold? I've been looking for those questions, but or looking for the answers to those questions online, but it seems like there's about a million one other things that people are asking, so it doesn't really. I've had difficulty finding those answers. I don't have those answers. But outside of the concern for the elderly, and when I say elderly, I'm talking about my dad, but people 60 and over, it's a higher risk. There is no question. So, yeah, that's definitely a reason to be concerned, and I get it. So this is going to suck for a little while. This is what they meant when it started to infiltrate the U.S., or when we started hearing stories about it. Some say it's been here for a while. That when the CDC said expect your lives to be disrupted a little, significantly. This is what they meant. This is what they meant with that. So I did learn that if you're in your 80s and you become stricken with this, you've got about a 15% chance that it's going to kill you. So that's some serious shit. With that being said, we are not going to go see my father this week, and I talked about this on a Facebook Live yesterday. He's not comfortable with that, and no one else is too. So we were all kind of thinking it. And Charity Scam Mike was like, what are we going to do, board up the windows? It's like, I understand that too, but I'm not willing to roll the dice with anyone, let alone my dad, for God's sake. So we all agreed, Dad, and he's like, hey, I'm just going to stay in the house. He's like, And in fact, when I get done with this podcast, I have to make arrangements for people to bring them their goods that they might need, medicines, and plus my dad's diabetic, and that is a complication. If you have diabetes, it can make this a little bit more of a challenge and can complicate things. So you definitely don't want to have that happen.
He got type 1 diabetes!
I think he's got type 2. So no visit to Dad to celebrate the birthday. Don't know what the future holds. Have no idea. Just, he's going to be vigilant. Totally get it. I understand. Where we live here in West Michigan, I live in Ottawa County. Kent County is right next door. Kent County, of course, is the big one. But Ottawa's big, too. Kent just got 4 cases, so it's here. It's a lot of people are going to get this. And one in an area called Mecosta County. Man, those are strong people up there in Mecosta County. I can't believe somebody got it. Those are people who, eat poo for a living. Totally kidding. That was terrible. Everything is canceled. When I say that, I mean all the sports teams, when those started with the NBA, you got 2 NBA players now that are sick or have the virus. And before I get to that, it's a little, when you have something like this, which most people will not die if they get this. In fact, some of the symptoms might be very mild for some of you. We're so not used to this. And I'm so used to shows like The Walking Dead. Everybody is thinking this is so terrible. So their reaction has been strong. It's led to a lot of purchases being made at the stores that are causing a lot of issues with various commodities that people want to buy and long lines to buy your stuff. I did buy a 30-day supply of food. And I did that because if I get sick, I'm not going to jeopardize anyone's health by leaving the home, or if anybody in my house gets sick. We all have to stay in because I don't want to make anyone else sick. So we need food. So I bought food so that if we can't leave the house, we have it. So if you own stock in any of in Aldi or whatever, if that's even a publicly traded company, I think it is. Man, was that place rowdy yesterday. And I did my best to stay as polite as possible as people were just ramming their carts through the aisles. It was a sight to see. And I'm just smile on my face. No one's getting me mad. I just wanted to keep it above board. Try not to react when anybody smashes into your cart. But, all right. So I did buy a bunch of food. I'm not so much concerned about the water like my brother is. But what I am concerned about is the possibility that the panic could continue to evolve to a stranger level. What with all of this, and you have the economy is taking a bit of a hit, this could throw us into a real scary scenario, and that's a very real possibility. The fact that the markets are in the shitter right now, and there are a lot of people who will not be working because of this. You look at the industries that I deal with in terms of entertainment, with all this athletic teams, you understand that has a massive trickle-down effect. Every single hockey game has, hundreds of people that work. There are concession people that depend on that job. They're all the ushers, the stagehands union. There's hundreds of women and men that have to put that show on. The ice crews, all the people that work in the hockey office, all of the salespeople who now have to, if you're trying to sell a product that doesn't exist anymore or is on hold, what are these people going to do? I have thought of that too, because good luck trying to sell advertising packages to the world when no one wants to go do anything. That's tricky. So we're all kind of in this uncertainty and oddness and holding pattern. But I mean, as I do spell this out for you, I do 100% believe that as time passes and this works its way through the system, it will subside. And here is what I look to for that point. I've been monitoring the World Health Organization website, and on a day-to-day basis, they release all of the countries and new cases and all of the stats. So it could be total infected, total recovered, total who passed away, total still sick, total critical. And the one number I look at is new cases. And where this all began was China, as far as we know. And if you remember and I have referenced this before, hundreds or thousands of new cases per day. Well, 2 days ago, I mentioned this, they had 18 new cases, and the numbers come out at the end of every day. Yesterday, they had 4. It's petering out in that part of the world, and no one's talked about it. And the U.S. is jumping 400 or 500 a day right now. It'll probably be much higher than that today as it continues to cycle through. So just keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully it will follow that same trend as it has in a country like China. The governor of Michigan, as many governors have done, have said, all right, schools are done. But it's weird because she said, Governor Whitmer went in front of everybody and said, all right, schools are canceled starting Monday. Why? Just cancel the whole damn thing now. I mean, what's... All right, but she's in charge. She did it that way. So all the schools around here, no school as of Monday till about, I don't know, sometime in April. I suggest maybe looking at this as an opportunity to clean the house. This is what I'm going to do. I don't plan on going anywhere. I want to be able to keep doing the podcast, and I am, unless I'm too sick to do it. We do have a protocol in place here at the house. That is, when you come in from the outside, I have a container of Clorox wipes. You grab the wipe. You grab the doorknob. You walk into the home. You close the door using the wipe as the barrier. You walk to the sink. You turn on the faucet. And then you clean. And then you wipe everything down again. Then that's the best I can do. I have no need to leave. I have no need to go to the Y. I'll just run around here, run outside. Just want to do my best to stay healthy because I don't want to have to stop doing the podcast. And it's a pain in the ass when you get sick because then you got to disinfect everything, for God's sake. Kudos to the person who came up with the World Health Organization has determined that dogs are healthy, that dogs cannot be harmed by the coronavirus. And I think the joke goes, so who let the dogs out? And I laughed my ass off. I'm probably ruining it, but a lot of you have seen that stupid post. But I was like, I'm reading them and go, oh, cool. The dogs, I thought the dogs could be affected, but the WHO has said that the dogs are safe. And then I read it, who let the dogs out? I'm like, fuck. All right. Where am I? What does this mean? My corona. Oh, I wrote it down. And then I didn't. I actually can read it. It is big enough to read, but I just didn't know the reference. I have embargoed my song that I wrote. I was thinking about it along with Pellerito. And Pellerito, I was thinking about it. He wrote it, and that kind of made me think twice about it. I don't like the idea that I would be... And I had a little bit of a feeling that I might change my mind on this. Just, it isn't so much that, because I've always known that you can die from it. But actually, people I know can die from this. It makes practical sense. to hold on to this song. So, John, I owe you a half hour of time. Mike writes this. Effing bull S. Mike doesn't like to swear. It all makes sense to be proactive, but this sucks. I am not scared of the virus, but the secondary effect absolutely sucks. I went to Sam's Club today to do my normal once-a-month restock run. No doubt you had your T-shirt tucked into your jeans and your belt equipped with your cell phone. He says it's like the Armageddon of Black Fridays. Lines to the back of the store. People buying everything like it's World War III. Like it's World War III tomorrow, and I just want to pick up protein bars and happen to be low on toilet paper. People are like, it's the end of the world, and I just want to make sure I can wipe my ass. School is now closed for a month starting Monday, but we get to start that endeavor tomorrow because a teacher is being tested this week. Yes, we have a potential dude with it here in Podunk Hilljack country. Personally, I think it'll be negative, but they are too backed up at the testing labs to confirm. Mike continues. This is all hype, in my opinion. The virus is not a death sentence. However, in order to curb the effect of it amongst the masses as a whole, the proactive measures do make sense. I'm just ranting because although it is warranted and needed measures, the chaos that the general public gets wrapped up in and rolls with is insane. Mark my words, these secondary effects of the virus, sports cancellation, stock market, school closings, will have more of an effect than the virus itself. Maybe, maybe not. However, I do understand why these secondary preventative measures are necessary. I just don't like them. Can anybody look it up for me? I can't really do it, but if anybody can run down the ground ball about if you get it, is it like chicken pox where you then won't get it? Also, can you check on it for me, one of my associate show contributors, because I don't want to do it while I'm talking to you. That would be a real bummer. I couldn't find it. If you are exposed to it, do you get it? Or let's say you've got like the superhuman immune system, like Stu McAllister. Are you safe? Mike continues. With that, the reason I'm also writing, before you release the My Corona song, take a moment to determine if the ship has sailed on the idea to be well received. 2 days ago, I think it would have been liked. I've seen a lot of panic out there in the last 24 hours and fear with all the tense panic. The bit might be ill-timed. Just read the pulse of the public before doing anything. Andrea, Kenny, and I would be laughing our balls or boobs off without a doubt. Many of the other degenerates on here would be as well. The audience as a whole is the more important thing. I think the last 24 hours has put the idea of Corona into a different perspective for many of them, and the timing of that song may have passed. Or do the song. I could use a good laugh. Yeah, I laugh at it. I wrote it. I think it's funny. But, yeah, I want to be pragmatic about this. I know you're like, oh, screw it, Zane. No. I don't want to do it because, I'd feel like a real shithead if my dad got sick and it ended up taking his life, for God's sake, and here I've got this stupid song. So, I don't know. It's the 50-year-old speaking here. 30-year-old Eric would have put a loudspeaker on top of his car like Jake and Al would and driven around town and played it, okay? Which, by the way, 30-year-old Eric would have also encouraged producer Joe to go walk around the mall sneezing and coughing like out of control just to get the interaction and like high-fiving people. That idea probably would have been shot down too, though. That's probably a good thing, frankly. Fun to talk about, but now, come on now. I don't think that's a great thing. The president, okay, here's something for you. First of all, it's a good idea to stay quarantined. If you don't have to go anywhere, don't. And this is why. If you need to get a test or you need to get a hospital, you're going to be contributing to a colossal backup of healthcare. And for other people, car accident victims, things like that, it all affects the system. So if you're healthy, that's a good thing. We're trying to keep it very basic here. Keep you in good health. If you are in good health, you are ahead of the curve. That means you won't be slowing things down to mess it up for the rest of the system. So I think that is very important. And you might be like, well, what does one person matter? No, it matters. It matters. I think it's important. But don't panic about it. Just be vigilant, please. So, okay, this is a perfect example of the news and how just a little tweak of the fact makes it so important. Now, the president was in the presence of a man, a Brazilian man, who has the virus. It's the press, I can't even talk, the press secretary for the president of Brazil. I don't know who this guy is, but he was in the room with the guy. No one knows who this dude is. Doesn't matter. And the closest he was to him was he stood next to him for a picture. And that was it. But the news in the headline online has the president shaking hands with a man. And it looks official. There's flags all around. Looks like a very nice office. And it says, President exposed to Brazilian cabinet member who has tested positive. And it's the president shaking hands. Now, at first glance, you think, without getting into the article, that he has touched the hand of the person in question. That did not happen. And I guess my point is, if you are a news source, why in the world would you do that unless you're trying to convince the public that he, in fact, touched the hand when he didn't of the guy? Food for thought. If you're in the business of getting the facts right and putting the news out there, why would you, right with the picture, establish a narrative that you have to hunt down the truth in the rest of the article? Because most people these days, they read a headline, they see a picture, and that's all they need to know, and then they go and talk to the world about it, you know? I found that very interesting, the positioning of that story and how it laid out, because it appeared like he touched the hand. Well, holy shit, this guy's going to get it. And why? And that's not that far-fetched. I mean, you look at this story about the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, his wife has tested positive for it. So, all right, now we're getting to the point where a lot of famous people are turning up as having it. I think Charles Barkley is being tested. He's quarantined himself. And I think it's important to note that most of these people, if they do have it, they're okay. Okay? So, but despite that, we have what we have, and that is the world is kind of on hold. We cannot control this. Again, green dot, the things we can control, our attitude, our outward behavior, how we handle ourselves, you know, the basic things, us. So don't worry about all that other extemporaneous shit. You can't control it. Worry about you. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about was suggested to me, and I looked for who suggested it. So I'm giving credit to a person who wrote in yesterday. And damn it, for the life of me, I can't find who it was. But I was limited on my time, and of course I got another late start, and so I wasn't able to procure it. But somebody suggested I combine the Memphis lady who speaks Memphis.
I wipe my shoes and backpack down when I got them out of school. Sure did. Got them gloves. Sure did.
With the Meyer lady, the crazy Meyer lady. Remember her?
You all better repent! Get the fuck out of here!
Still can't believe that person is real. It's not a big deal, but this is a perfect example of how the audience moves things for me. The suggestion was made. I wouldn't have thought of it. If you try to create a conversation between a lady who speaks Memphis, talking about the virus, and Meyer lady. So that comes up next. And I have an interview that I want to play for you. I'll tell you about that in a second. But life marches on thanks to A&E Heating and Cooling. 616-516-8579 for the immortal Joe Martinez. All right? 616-516-8579. He's been installing heating and cooling systems, well, pretty much for his whole adult life, and he's the best in the business. First, he worked for the man. Now he is the man. 15% off for all Zane Show podcast listeners for a new install, for a repair job, for an after-hours call, for a tune-up. You get 15% off from Joe Martinez. 616-516-8579. Thank you, Joe. I'll talk to you very soon. Also, part of the amazing contingency of Zane Show podcast sponsors is Blue Frost IT. These are all the big hitters that keep the meter moving for my podcast. We're going to do this for as long as we can. 616-200-8550 is their number. 616-200-8550. If you need IT support for your business, that's who you call upon. A monthly maintenance plan is the best way to go, because then you got the folks ready to, check on you, make sure that everything is all right. Say, hey, man, this is a problem. I don't know what. It's a phishing scam. Help me. They work remotely, and they're boots on the ground, so they can be at your business in minutes to help you out. 616-200-8550 for Blue Frost IT, online at bluefrostit.com. Thank you. As always, while I do the podcast, I've made it a habit to go back to the email. I know email is an ancient way of communicating these days, but still, that's all I got. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Alan, who is in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm sorry, Matthew. I said Alan because his last name is Allen, and then it shows up as Alan, Matthew. Idiot. Matthew writes, I don't know why, but I haven't heard anything like that from anyone really until today. Must be talking about the discussion about Corona. I rarely listen to the live show, but for some reason that struck me. Thank you for that. Well, hell, that's a very nice thing to say. I appreciate that, Matt. You're a good man. I appreciate any feedback you give me. All right. This is what you get when you combine Meyer Lady.
Get the fuck out of here! Fuck you, sir!
Let's just go through all of them. Let's just start from the beginning with the Meyer Lady. If you don't know what it is, doesn't matter. This is a person who was recorded at a grocery store.
Fuck you! I'm trying to help you, motherfucker!
People send me that all the time, that actual little clip of it when they're trying to help me. I'm like, no, hey, Zane, can we get in there and rebuild, build another wall in your studio? No, don't do it.
Fuck you! I'm trying to help you, motherfucker!
Hey, Zane, this is like Irvine's Auto Repair calling. Can we get your car in here? We're going to do a free tune-up.
Fuck you! I'm trying to help you, motherfucker! Shut your fucking mouth, bitch!
Again, this lady all she was doing was she walked up to a random guy shopping and said, hey, you got to repent. And he's like, I don't know. I just want to buy some groceries. And then she responded with, whoops.
Fuck you! I'm trying to help you, motherfucker! You all better repent! Get the fuck out of here! Fuck you, sir! You motherfucking accuser!
Please don't let my dad be listening to this.
Fuck you! I never brush my fucking teeth! Don't you fucking know that? Accuser of the fucking brethren, you motherfucker!
All right. This is what you get when you have a conversation between Meyer Lady and Lady who speaks Memphis.
And don't nobody want their child to be sick. And
fuck you! I'm trying to help you, motherfucker!
I wipe my shoes and backpack down when I got them out of school. Sure did. Gave them gloves. Sure did.
Shut your fucking mouth, bitch!
And don't nobody want their child to be sick. And don't nobody want to take that virus to their house.
Don't nobody want to take their virus to their house, the mother says. No, that's true. All right. You may have seen the story about the kid, school-age kid, middle school, I believe, in Leeds, England, who got sent home from school because he was making cash on the side and selling squirts of hand sanitizer, which, by the way, I can't hear the word squirt anymore without thinking of something sexual. Oh, my God. So, yeah, the article says, yeah, he's giving away free squirts to people. And I'm like, what the? So now it says 50p. Now, that can't be 50 pounds because that's a lot of money. But it says 50p on the thing, so I don't know if it's that's like half a pound, which would be about 63 cents US. But the kid was doing that, and so he apparently made like $15 doing it. And the word on the street is that the school sent him home for the day. Mom takes a picture of the kid and says, really hard to discipline my son for this, when his dad calls him and calls him a fucking legend. Like dad called, he goes, "You rock, man, that is fucking great." I mean, that's such a dad thing to do if you think about it. If you're a dad with a kid and your son is making cash, giving away free squirts of hand sanitizer, you might do the same. Well, as the story goes, I looked this lady up. Her name is Jenny Tompkins in Leeds, England. That's where Live at Leeds from The Who was recorded. Great album. And I reached out to her via Facebook, and sure as shit, about 5 minutes later, she sends me a message back and says, "Hey, yeah, I'll do an interview." I go, "No shit. What time is it where you are?" She says, "It's like 10:30 p.m. I go, "Well, I know it's late, so whatever you want to do, we can do it now or we can do it later." She goes, "I'll do it right now." So she sends me her number, and I dialed this lady up in England. So this is the mom of the kid who got in a shit ton of trouble for giving away free squirts of hand sanitizer at school, and he got expelled. It actually said expelled for the day. It's just the terminology that they use. This is my conversation with Jenny Tompkins.
Hello.
Hello, is this Mrs. Tompkins?
Yeah, speaking.
Hi, Ms. Tompkins. This is Eric Zane. How are you? By the way, it starts and takes it forever to turn down the TV, so that's a little distracting. So I'm a little distracted, and there's a delay. When I say something, it takes like half a second for it to get to her. Oh.
I'm very good, thank you. Yourself?
I couldn't be better. Thank you for doing this.
Not a problem.
Okay, so how are things in England?
Very wet and cold, but other than that, we're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know it. It has been it's been a little weird with the coronavirus, and I understand your son and his entrepreneur spirit got him into some trouble. Isn't that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, can you explain how it went, Ms. Tompkins?
Yeah, he was listening to the radio on the way to school on his phone, and heard an article about the coronavirus and how hand sanitation is the best way to prevent it.
Yeah.
So he jumped off the bus and called a local supermarket to buy some hand sanitizer. And when he got to school, he started charging his friends 50p per squirt of the hand sanitizer. Okay,
so that now, did you say 50 pounds?
50 pence.
Okay. I didn't. I wasn't familiar with how much he was making. So he had a handful of money then from giving all the squirts.
He did, yes.
Okay, and then somebody at the school told on him, or did somebody see it happen?
No, he decided to push his luck and tried to charge a teacher 50p.
Okay.
For the hand sanitizer.
All right, and that didn't go so well.
No, that didn't go so well. That led to the teacher finding out that he had been charging other students.
Yeah. Boy, it seems like the school came down on him pretty hard to send him home for the day. What did you think about that?
It wasn't just the fact that he had
By the way, I'm pausing it. I determined it's 50 pence. Okay.
Charging the 50p. The school tried to confiscate the hand sanitizer off of him. They wanted to take it off him, and my son refused and said, well, actually...
Which is half of 1 pound. I'm sorry. I should shut up.
So this is mine.
Oh, okay.
And they therefore saw that as refusal to comply with school regulations, and that's when they sent him home.
Yeah, well, all right, I get it. So there's a little bit more to it than that. Your story, or his story, your son's story, made international news. Everybody's talking about this. Did you think it would become this widespread?
Absolutely not. No, it's been absolutely crazy.
Now I noticed in your post, which was hilarious, you talked about how Mr. Tompkins, it's difficult to parent because he called your son a fucking genius. Isn't that right?
Yeah, he did, and it was right in the middle of me speaking to my son about how he shouldn't be taking advantage of a crisis, and I was trying to explain to him, and right in the middle of this conversation, my husband just got wind of it, and he phoned him, and he was like, "Well done, mate, you are a fucking legend, well done." So
God!
It didn't really help.
Okay, now, Ms. Tompkins, you're the boss. You had to have a word or two with Mr. Tompkins shortly thereafter about him talking to your son that way.
I did, yes, yeah. We did have words.
Okay, all right.
But again, it was quite difficult to keep a straight face.
Wow, this is great. Now, is all well? I mean, is everything okay now after now that hopefully everything's starting to settle down?
Yeah, Oliver is over the moon. He went back to school today and made himself even more money charging his friends for autographs.
Oh yeah,
So,
of course.
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 13.
Oh, my gosh. You've got your hands full because you know that the girls are going to be like, hey, and they probably already were in the first place. But
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So much trouble. Oh, my gosh. Wow. So, yeah, this has been the brightest thing this week, this story, because it's just been a miserable week for things going on. Just a lot of bad news, and everybody's kind of down. But this story is just sensational. So, it sounds like you handled it perfectly, and at the end of the day, he gets to go back to school, and he won't do that again.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, well, I wish you guys the best. What do you think of all this? Do you think this is all just a bunch of nonsense, or is it overreacting? Because in the U.S. here, it's starting to really take hold. I'm not sure how much it has taken hold in the UK, but what are your thoughts about the whole thing, Mrs. Tompkins?
I think a lot of it is scaremongering by the media. I mean, things have gone crazy here. Supermarkets have sold out of toilet rolls. People are panic buying. The shelves are empty in most supermarkets. People have just gone crazy, absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and that's really interesting. It is quite a phenomenon. The same thing. I agree with exactly what you just said. In fact, I've talked about it at length on this show. It's difficult to try to quantify all of the panic, but you're right. That has been a nonstop issue as soon as it started to proliferate. How about Meghan and Harry? Yay or nay?
Yay! I am so for them. Absolutely.
Yeah, I am too.
I think they've done the right thing.
I am too. I feel bad because a lot of things have gone against them, both with when they were with the family, and now the kind of like the hurt feelings is making things even more difficult. At the end of the day, it seems like it's kind of ridiculous.
Absolutely. And you know what? Meghan has faced so much undeserved criticism. She really has. And there's so much publicity going around about mental health at the moment and being kind. And yet some of the comments that she has faced are absolutely disgusting. I think he absolutely did the right thing taking her away from that.
Yeah, and they're not far from where we are right now. I'm in the great state of Michigan. Canada's just a hop, skip, and a jump away. So it's really interesting how now things have changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you, Ms. Tompkins, for taking the time to do this. It sounds like you got a great family there, and tell your husband and your son, great job, but not to do that again, please.
I will do. Thank you very much.
Okay. God bless.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, she sounds sweet. Oh, love that voice. Oh my God, I was smitten. So have a crush on her. Cheers. That's what you say. Cheers. So 50 pence is half a pound. So that's what he was charging a squirt. Give me a 50 pence. Excellent. Glad that worked out. The next thing I want to talk about is there's a televangelist named Kenneth Copeland, and this guy sucks. I hate having to play sound clips from televangelists because they're all crazy and scam artists. And Kenneth Copeland is the latest person trying to scam the world over coronavirus. You got this kid here, Oliver Tompkins, and Kenneth Copeland taking advantage of the scenario. At least Oliver Tompkins there, at least that the hand sanitizer would actually do something to fight the virus. What this piece of shit Kenneth Copeland, televangelist, is doing does not help anybody, I believe, because he's a thief. That next. Hey, since you're staying at home, more time to tend to the garden, the indoor garden that you're going to be building from Horizon Hydroponics. They have everything you need for your indoor grow adventure. That's HorizonHydroponics.com. Buy online, have it shipped if you want. Buy online, go pick it up. Use your hand sanitizer. And then I'm not saying that you can catch coronavirus when you go there. I'm just kidding you. It's the cleanest place in the world. Get your stuff and then get after it. No matter what you are growing, could be veggies, could be flowers, could be whatever. Could be cannabis, because, you know, in this great state, that's what you do here. You freak out at coronavirus and you grow tons of cannabis. They're the experts. They have everything you need to start that operation. 866-791-1664. HorizonHydroponics.com, key sponsor of the Eric Zane Show Podcast. It's more fun to grow your own, I'm guessing. I imagine that would be a very rewarding thing as you look, and here you are in a state where you have this enormous plant just proliferating with this pungent stench filling the room, while the motors of your air scrubbers or whatever the hell they are and your light beaming and bright. You got more stuff hanging over here drying out. I don't know how it works. I'm just assuming. That's what I've seen in movies. Back in the day, you'd have to go down like a seedy alley and some guy buys you or sells you a bag of pot. Go to prison for like 80 years. Nowadays, just grow it in your house. No big deal. It's cool. TC Paintball 616-248-8227. I think I got that wrong. 616-249-8227. I did get it right. Schedule a party. Schedule an anti-coronavirus party. 616-249-8227. Group play. You got the Little League. You got the adventures for your workplace. Okay, that's who you want to call for fun in Grand Rapids. Coming up on April 9th, we still have it scheduled. We are going through with Paintball War number 8 as of right now. That is the Spring Break Offensive. Now, being that the whole school thing in Michigan here, all the schools are out, Rick and I might have to rethink this. And what we would do is, if we had everybody come out, we'd meet you at the door and we'd like hose you down and do like an anti-corona delousing and give you hand sanitizer. And then you go in, the guns are wiped down perfectly. It's a perfect call. It's a perfect gun. And then everything is clean, sanitized as you shoot the shit out of each other. 616-249-8227. Last night, sound asleep. I hear a conversation while I'm sleeping. What the hell is going on? It's Madison. She had just puked. Uh-oh. Well, Madison, she's kind of cut from the same cloth as Dad, so her noggin is trying to convince her that terrible things are happening. A little bit of anxiety there in terms of what she's dealing with. So she's already freaking out about this coronavirus thing. She wakes up and pukes. Now, I don't know what the problem is. So she says, is this coronavirus? And I go, I don't know. It might be. And she looks at me, and I go, but that's okay. You're going to be fine. If you do, that means we'll all get it, and that'll be it, and we'll be done. And so don't sweat it. There's nothing you can do about it. Not a damn thing. I don't think you do. But I just I want her mind to be eased about it. It might not be. It probably is not. But if it is, you're going to be fine. No big deal. I wonder if I should go check on her. She's sound asleep. Sleeping with Daisy. Okay, I talked to you about this kook televangelist. Idiot's name is Kenneth Copeland. He gets up from the desk on his stupid show. He dips his hand in holy water that he says is holy water. It's not. He walks up to the camera. He's like 4 feet away from it. He puts his hand out, and it says, "Pray away coronavirus hotline. Give." So he wants you to give money. If you give him money, he's going to pray away your coronavirus. He has said, all you have to do is send me money, and I am going to pray away the coronavirus. All right. This is what that sounded like. Pray with me, folks.
Put your hand on that television set.
Yes, Lord.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, Jesus.
The second guy who's saying yes, Lord, he's behind the camera. I get the impression that he's got his pants off, and he's heating up the German war helmet with the creepy way he's responding to this guy.
Accuser of the fucking brethren, you motherfucker!
Thank you, Lord Jesus. He received your healing.
You all better repent!
Now. Say it, I take it.
I take it.
I have it.
I have
it's
it.
mine.
It's mine. What, coronavirus?
I thank you and praise you for it.
Yes, Lord.
And I forgive if I have aught against any.
I forgive.
You sound like a
And I
goddamn
praise you
pussy to
that
me.
I'm well and whole.
I praise you that I'm well and whole.
Yes.
According to the word of God,
According to the word of God.
Oh, this is terrible.
I'm healed.
I actually feel bad about it.
And I consider not my own body.
Yes, consider not my own body.
I consider not
Who
symptoms
gives a
in my
fuck?
body,
I consider not symptoms in my body.
but only that which God has promised.
Again, this guy says through the TV, he's praying away your coronavirus. All you have to do is give him money.
Only that which God has.
Only that
Fuck
what
you,
the
I'm
word
trying to
has
help you,
said.
motherfucker.
The word.
And by his stripes I was healed, and by his stripes I am healed now. I'm not the
All right,
sick
can't
trying
take
to
it.
get healed. I'm the healed, and the devil's trying to give me the flu
That's right.
or whatever else kind of thing he's
You got type 1 diabetes.
healed and well
Yes.
in the sweet name of
Name
Jesus.
of Jesus. Glory to God. Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Get out!
Again,
You're full of shit.
Jesus is in heaven, and he's like, fuck. Another one of these assholes I have to deal with. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry you had to hear that. Let's see. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. If you have anything at all while I'm talking that you would like me to read or see. All right? Eric at ericzaneshow.com. I check it frequently. If you want to contribute to the show, that is the only way I can do it with you right now in real time. All right. This has nothing to do with coronavirus, and boy, is it funny. You're going to love this. It's something you have to see, but it's still funny. And I will link it up, as I will everything I've talked about here on the podcast for you to check out as we go. I'll put it in the show notes, and everything will be in the news section of ericzaneshow.com. Here's a scenario. Mom is seated on the toilet. You can't see her. She's recording the video, so she's looking out the open bathroom door. Yeah, I know. Open bathroom door, but, it's her house, and I would be lying if I said I haven't ever done this, especially when you have little kids. She's got 3 little ones, so she's kind of like, no doubt always has an ear out for them just in case something goes down. So she's going potty. Now, she's putting in motion a prank. She has 3 very little kids. Sounds like a 1-year-old who you hear crying way in the background. And then you'll also hear the oldest one start crying. And then the first one she interacts with is the middle one. The oldest kid is probably 5 or 4. They're all little. She has a great prank planned. And if you have little kids, this would be hilarious. But boy, did it backfire on this lady, and you're going to love it. This is the one video you have to see is this one for today. She opens up the snack pack pudding and puts the pudding on her hands. And the idea is she's going to say, I'm out of toilet paper. Kids, bring me toilet paper. And they bring it in, and then she wipes what they think is the shit on on the kid's hands accidentally. She goes, oh, no, I didn't know I had shit on my hands. And so then the kids are going to freak out, right? Well, what she didn't bargain on was what happened next. And I think I'll leave it right there, and then we'll fill in the blanks as we go, okay? But it blows up on them. Check it out. She's putting the
Jason, Elijah, somebody please come here. I forgot the toilet paper.
That's right. Jason and Jalila.
It's in the hallway. I don't know why I did that.
Elijah.
Hurry.
The one kid's making the other brother get it. Oldest one's making the middle one go do it.
Jason, please hand me that toilet paper.
Here comes Jason.
Elijah.
Or Jalija.
No, just give me the roll, baby.
How is that poop?
Mom, is that poop?
Oh my God.
Is it poop?
I'm sorry, baby. Give me the toilet paper. Are you about to puke?
Okay, did you hear that? Jalija is dry heaving. He's about to puke. Did you hear it?
Don't puke. Don't puke. Wash your hands. Jason, give me that other roll, please.
Okay, so now she's getting Jay-Z-on into it. He comes around the corner with the other roll while Jalija is starting to verp.
What?
Please give it to me.
What is that?
Please give. Oh my gosh.
Okay, now Jalija just barfed. And Jay-Z-on, he now also has pudding on his hand. He thinks it's shit. So it's real now. Jalija's puking. Jay-Z-on's also got pudding / shit on his hand, and he reacts.
It's pudding. It's pudding.
Too late.
It's pudding. It's pudding.
So
He puked on you?
okay, now Jalija has puked on Jay-Z-on, and he has a bewildered look on his face. Really cute. And now the littlest one's crying in the other room.
Wipe your hands off. Wash them. Oh my God!
All right, now the kid did a real big blast. What started out as just a little bit of puke, now he does full fucking, what was that, lard ass from Stand By Me. That's what the kid looks like. All over the place. And then he ends with a massive dry heave. Have I ever informed you that never does that not make me laugh? Or I should say, I always laugh when I hear someone dry heave. If I hear, I Just thinking about it makes me laugh. That that's what always used to kill me about producer Joe when he would dry heave, man. That was always the high. That is one thing that I will always laugh at is just thinking about when Joe would do that. And this kid, oh shit, I had it and then it left. Fuck, I gotta get it back. When this kid dry heaves, it's just too much for me. I think it's hysterical. Oh, come on, don't ruin it. Juice squeeze, not going to work. I have a different setup today because I had a bit of a tech issue with my sound machine on the laptop or the iPad. But my God, is that great? I'll link it up. It's a lot of fun. Oh my God. The next thing I want to talk about is Corona related, of course. And I'm going to try something a live phone call to a 7-Eleven in part of New Jersey. I forget what part, but I've got their number. The idiot who owns the place decided to do homemade hand sanitizer with terrible results. That is next. Each segment of the Eric Zane Show podcast, I should say the podcast, is brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid. Fixing all domestic, all Asian, BMWs, Minis, and Mercedes-Benz vehicle. If you have any one of those, call upon Irvine, 616-202-5538. They are located just off 44th Street in Grand Rapids, a few blocks east of 131. They've been doing it for more than 25 years, building their great business. They employ several great techs, and they want to work for you. If you love this show, please call upon all the sponsors whenever you need any of the things that I peddle on it. And please mention me, 616-202-5538. The RV dealer of choice for the Eric Zane Show podcast is Terrytown RV. They're on division between 68th and 76th Street. Just go look at them. It's fun. They'll give you the popcorn. They'll give you the cup of coffee. Heck, if they're feeling really giving, they might even buy you lunch on some days. But do go check out the merchandise. All price points. Newbie to the super, super elaborate setups. Terrytown RV has them all. Teeny tiny travel trailers that'll set you back about $180 a month. Or big ass, big swinging dick size Class A diesels that cost $500,000. They have them all at Terrytown RV. Division between 68th and 76th. They've got an indoor showroom, impeccably clean. They wipe everything down with Clorox wipes. I'd love to see you there. Reach out, Eric at ericzaneshow.com, and I will actually meet you at Terrytown RV. I'm just looking at an email from Kenny. He says, the dry heave. You got to get that for a drop. Oh, I know. I wanted to get it, but I was short of time. But I will get it, and I'll have it. I'll have it for you. Trust me. All right. So this lady who owns a 7-Eleven, I think it's a lady, 7-Eleven owner has been charged after illegally selling bootleg hand sanitizer. She decided she was going to take a regular bottle of hand sanitizer, and then she would go ahead and water it down and put it in a different sprayer. So then you could just like buy your own bottle of it. And she was like charging outrageous amounts of money for that. But what happened was, I don't know how it happened, because just watering it down, and you wouldn't think that this would happen, at least 4 children have gotten chemical burns from this. A New Jersey 7-Eleven owner is in trouble. Prosecutors have charged her. It is a her. She sold bootleg hand sanitizer that caused the chemical burns. The Rivervale Police Department posted a photo of the makeshift sanitizer spray in bottles and marked as spray sanitizer. It had just like any label you put on like an envelope, and it said spray sanitizer. Manisha Barade charged with child endangerment and deceptive business practices. Barade created the bootleg hand sanitizer by doing just what I told you, mixing commercial sanitizer with water. Authorities said they were alerted to the issue after a photo on social media showed a young boy with apparent burns to his arm and leg. Officers then went to the store and seized the remaining products. They said roughly a dozen of the spray bottles were sold to customers on March 9th. New Jersey Attorney General gets involved, tweeted a warning to retailers who are trying to make a quick buck by exploiting others during the coronavirus pandemic. What does that even mean? Does anybody know what pandemic means? Does that just mean widespread? I could have looked this up, and I could do it right now, but I'm not even sure. Epidemic, pandemic, what the hell? Is it, there's so much I don't know. Let me be perfectly clear. If you're trying to take advantage of our residents during a public health emergency, we will hold you accountable. Craig writes, great live video last night. I haven't seen a chin like that since, and then he sends me some nasty picture, which I can't open it up. I imagine it's someone with a fat chin. Yeah, it was the angle. I'm not that fat. I was looking down, and the camera was looking up. Yes, that's going to happen. It would happen to anybody. All right, I'm going to give this a go here. This 7-Eleven in New Jersey. Let me try this here. That would be 201 664. Call number. $24 hours. There's got to be somebody there. Please work, or else this bit's going to die.
Good morning, Colonel and Malcolm.
Hey, how are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm calling to see if I can get some hand sanitizer.
Sorry?
I'm calling to get the hand sanitizer. Are you? Hello? Hello? What the? Hello? Shit. He hung up on me. Try it again. Come on, man. I had one shot. Mom spaghetti. All right. I'll try it later. Maybe I can get him unsuspecting. All right. I don't have a ton left. I actually have two. Actually, no, I do. I have two more things to tell you about. One is probably the dumbest conversation I've had with Diana in a long time. We'll get to that next. One more announcement, and that is my friends at the Kent County Health Department who actually reached out to today. They are very, very busy. Public health is obviously the most serious thing you can have, so their plate is full with all of the talk about COVID-19. That being said, I actually reached out to him. I go, I'm like, do you want someone on the show to be able to talk with people about what it is, like frequently asked questions? Do you want to answer them? But I haven't been able to get anybody back because they're so damn packed. So I'll just continue telling you about the thing that I'm supposed to tell you about, business as usual, in March for National Nutrition Month. Always concerned with the health of the residents in this community and any community. Your public health department does the same thing, so this all applies. Here in the great state of Michigan, we have something known as WIC. That stands for Women, Infant, Children. It's my job to convince you that that does not mean you're bad, you're poor. It doesn't mean that you're a lowlife or a bad person or anything like that. Just because you have to engage with something that is for the public in case they need help. Women, infant, children need to be fed. Women specifically, we're talking about people in underprivileged scenarios. Maybe the bottom has dropped out in the world. Somebody left. Maybe a divorce. Maybe they're suddenly faced with having to work a job while making ends meet, and somebody needs to watch the kids. This is all a huge problem for people. And sometimes people can't eat because they don't have any money. The WIC program makes sure that those people get fed. If you know somebody who needs to take advantage of this program, please encourage them to do so by logging on to the Kent County Health Department website, or just go to mine and click on their logo. It'll take you right to the page that talks about all of the things that I'm discussing now, how they can plug into that system. Or just call them at 616-632-7200 today. Set up there for you to use it. Use it. Okay. The last 24 hours has been a lot of talk about the virus, obviously. Yes, I did do a little preparing. I talked to a friend of mine. It was Steve Prince, who is retired U.S. Army major. And I go, so what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm not a prepper, but I'm prepared. I go, all right. He goes, think 30 days. So that's what prompted me to buy food for the reasons I talked to you about earlier. In case I can't leave the house, I want to be able to eat, and I don't want to be in that spot. You just throw it all in the freezer. No big deal. Did all of that, and it was on our minds here in the house, and everybody's brain was kind of wandering away, and everybody was in their phone trying to figure out what's going on. I did buy 20 gallons of gas, too. Some lady saw me at Meijer. I had, because I got a 5-gallon gas tank at home, and I bought 3 more 5-gallon containers just in case, that if people run out of gas and shit like that, I want to be able to have the gas. Now, I talked to you earlier in the week about my brother making fun of him about water. I still think that that's the least of anybody's concerns because Jim is under the impression that they'll just shut the water off. I'm like, I don't know about that. But I do have a ton of those gallon jugs that I can fill up at a moment's notice. And I might even do that. So Diana's her brain is in her phone. And I asked her a question about the schools. And so I'm not in the same room as her. Listen how stupid this is. And she reacted this way. Honey, do you think there'll be school tomorrow? No answer. Nothing. Now, she can hear me. I can hear her. She can't see me. I can't see her. Again, do you think there'll be school tomorrow? No response. I ask it a third time. This all happens over 15, 20 seconds, maybe more. No answer. I'm right in the other room. And I go, honey, can you hear me? She goes, I'm thinking. And I go, well, how the fuck am I going to know that? I mean, you can't yell at me because you gave me absolutely nothing. She barks at me. I'm thinking. I go, do you want me to use my Professor X powers to determine that you're thinking? How the hell could I possibly know that? So then she barks at me more and we get in a fight. It's like, oh, fuck it. I walk downstairs. I come back up the steps. I go, okay, let's twist, let's reverse it because I can't let it go. I go, if you ask me a question and I didn't answer you 3 times, would you eventually say, honey, can you hear me? Yes, she says. And now I know I'm going to win this argument. I go, would you then be annoyed with me if I yelled at you? She says, yes. I go, thank you. I believe I'll be accepting that apology any time now. She never apologized. Pain in the ass. I'm going to have to cut her off for that one. Did you? Yeah, right. My last story is not related to coronavirus, but it is so damn cool. By the way, I do have an anonymous person who writes, single dads can get wick too. That's true. I appreciate that. Thank you for pointing it out. If they qualify, a lot of people don't realize this because of its name, but it's true. That's right. It should be MWIC. Shouldn't it? Men, women, infant, children? Why is it just WIC? That's a great question. I think I'm going to float that idea to my friends at the health department. Why is it called WIC? It's not up to them. It's up to the state. All right. As always, Eric at ericzaneshow.com if you have any last-minute things you want to get in on the podcast. A lot of people send this story in, and again, I thank you so much to all of you who contribute. You are all friends, listeners, and show contributors. If you send me even one link that you think is interesting that I might like to talk about on the podcast, you are a show contributor. Damn, is this story cool. Do you know what Amber is? Not the name of a porn star. Amber. I never knew what amber was till I looked it up. Amber, like in the movie Jurassic Park, the guy has the cane with the amber and the mosquito in the amber. You remember what I'm talking about? I bet a lot of you don't even know what that is. Amber is fossilized tree resin. Like shit comes off trees. I don't know if that means sap or what, but it's fossilized tree resin. So the amber itself is a historic piece of material here. A piece of amber has been found, and there's a picture of it, with a 99 million, well, the amber is 99 million years old. So I'm guessing that this dinosaur head is also about the same age. 99 million years old. And it is a small piece of dinosaur, and it is a tiny, tiny dinosaur. Smaller than the size of the tiniest hummingbird alive today. It's a little fucking thing with this big ass eye and the beak like a hummingbird, except it's got like 50 serrated teeth on the top and bottom of it. It'd kill you when you die a death of 1,000 cuts if you got a swarm of these fuckers coming around you. But it is so cool. My God. The complete skull of an unknown species of bird-like dinosaur has been discovered trapped in a chunk of 99 million year old amber. The Earth is like 4.5 billion years old. You hear 99 million years, and you're like, I can't believe how many years that is. You think about the amount of life in this country, how long this country has been a thing. And that seems like a long time. 99 million years, and that 99 million years is a drop in the bucket compared to 4.5 billion years old. I was talking with Diana about this, more on that on the skull in a second, but the Earth is so old that theoretically there may have been a time when there was a civilization on the planet just like this, that asteroid strike or something or another planetary entity hit this planet and resurfaced the whole thing, and then it started from scratch. That's not out of the question. Now, I'm just saying that, my very uneducated, untrained brain thinking that. But I'll bet you that idea has been floated by someone who knows more than I do. A little food for thought. That's just when it comes to the age of the planet. There's so much that could be buried within the planet that we don't even know about. The head was the size of a thumbnail on this animal. Jaw packed with serrated teeth. Eyes bulging and lizard-like. The creature was a predator. The fossil is named Oculudentavis. Oculudentavis. Boy, say that 5 times. Oculudentavis. Represents the smallest dinosaur ever found. When I first saw this specimen, it really blew my mind. I literally have never seen anything like this. You don't have to say literally. Said Jingmangi O'Connor, senior professor at the Institute of Vertebrate Paleontology, blah, 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 in China. That's where the damn virus came from. Over 100 teeth in the jaws. Weird eyes sticking off, looking to the side. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it alive today, of course. When people think of dinosaurs as huge, lumbering creatures, this skull and other recent finds in amber suggest that life in dinosaur times is probably more diverse than we think. Man, that is really neat. I'll link it up as usual. One more try before we wrap this up. Come on, 7-Eleven. Eric Zane. Eric Zane. Eric Zane. It's probably caller ID. It sees me. Ah, well. We tried. We had one shot and we blew it. Okay, folks. All right, that's it. It's kind of a weirdo week. Yeah, I don't want you to have any anxiety. If you catch it, you're going to be okay. My biggest concern is for the elderly. You're going to be okay. My big concern is for the elderly and the ensuing panic that leads to, uncertainty in the world. I've been shut off for the last hour and 30 minutes, so I have no idea what's going on. But hopefully you'll be just fine. I really can't say anything more without sounding like a blathering idiot, so I'll just leave it right there and get a cup of coffee and continue on with the day, as you should too. If you're new to the podcast, please subscribe to it at ericzaneshow.com. Click free podcast and then subscribe. Follow all of my social media, and if you would, think about it. If you think this podcast is worth it, then you'll probably like the Patreon too. $5 or $10 a month. I do more podcasting. Most people get their content from podcasts these days. I would love it if you'd make me a regular stop along that with my daily show. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you down the road. Have a great weekend as best as you can. And don't worry, everything's going to be just fine. Talk to you soon.